Well, initially waking up from my first coma, the doctors thought I was recovering. Sepsis was forming, blood poisoning, and I had the most severe septic shock. I was also in an adrenal crisis. At the time, I was not diagnosed with Addison's disease. As I was worsening, the doctor came over and told me I would need a tracheotomy. And for me, tracheotomy has always been and still is one of my worst fears. Apparently, I'd said no to a tracheotomy earlier, but my family, quite rightfully, said yes, it was life-saving. I remember really struggling to breathe, thinking I was going to die. I knew what was next was an induced coma. As the tracheotomy was being performed, I was immobilised, and I just felt this incredible pressure on my neck. There's my tracheotomy scar. This is my tracheotomy voice. It still feels uncomfortable to touch the scar. As it was being performed, one thing I was able to focus on was the courage and effort of the doctor and nurses trying to save my life. The dreams in the second coma were much worse. One I remember was some kind of entity attacking every single member of my family, going from cousin to cousin to cousin, people being killed in front of a fireplace, and I knew my turn was coming. When I was woken up from my second coma, I had the tracheotomy tube in for a few days. There's so much humanity from the doctors and nurses, just so much care and compassion. I hadn't had a conversation with anybody for a few weeks because the drugs were affecting me and my thoughts and feelings. But there was one nurse who could lip read. I just remember for 5 minutes she came over and was just able to have a conversation. It was so special. Also, this was the way I was speaking. It was so painful. For a few days I had to actually press down on my throat to speak. Also remember the first time having a drink. It was so painful having to drink through a straw. But I recovered very quickly, but the whole experience, the dreams, I've come through so much in a very short period of time. It was a month. Apparently there were 5 or 6 times when the doctors had told my family I was going to die during the night. What also happened is I was diagnosed with Addison's disease a few months later.